Good evening, Mr. Walden. I'm sorry, Mr. Ramirez. Just a couple of quick questions here. Just to clarify, you mentioned that you had a few drinks that night before the altercation?
Yes.
Right. And you said you had, what was it, two beers during the basketball game?
A couple beers.
And then, how many beers was it? Or, I guess it was the scotch and water you said at the bars?
A few of those.
A few of those. Didn't you say that you had maybe even up to 4 or 5 scotch and waters?
Possibly.
Possibly. All right. I'm going to go ahead and take you back to, do you recall taking the deposition earlier last year? I was there, your attorney was there, and we asked you questions. Do you recall that?
Yeah.
All right. And do you remember that at the time you were under oath to answer truthfully, just like you are today?
Sure.
All right. And at the time, I asked you, you had a couple of beers and 4 or 5 drinks. Do you recall that question?
I mean, I don't recall the question exactly. You asked me about how much I drank.
Okay. And you answered, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Okay.
All right. So it's fair to say that night you had a couple beers and 4 or 5 strong drinks, the scotch and water?
Okay.
All right. And about how much time elapsed between when you first started drinking at your friend's house and then when you were finally with the altercation?
We were a couple hours over there, then went to the bars, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 hours.
4 or 5 hours. So you had up to 7 drinks in 4 or 5 hours leading up to this time.
Okay.
Is that a yes?
I guess so. That's what we talked about, I think. So.
I need a yes or no. You had.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. All right. And also when you stayed on your way home, you kind of gave the directions that you took, your driving directions, and you even pointed out on a map for the ladies and the gentlemen of the jury. I couldn't help notice as Evergreen Street was turning onto Evergreen Street. Was that on the way home to your house?
It's near my house.
It's near your house, but would you normally have turned onto Evergreen Street going on if it weren't for following that car?
I don't know, I guess. Sometimes. Maybe.
Sometimes. If you were just going straight home, would you normally turn onto Evergreen Street?
Probably not.
Probably not. So is it fair to say that was kind of going out of your way to turn onto Evergreen Street?
I mean, out of the way. It's not that far from my house. So. It's near it. It's near my house.
It's near, okay. The question was, is it going out of the way? As opposed to a straight shot to your house?
No, it doesn't go straight to my house, no.
Okay, all right. And once you turned onto Evergreen Street, you stated even that Officer Levy, when he got out of his car, you said that he told you to get back in your car and to keep going. Is that right?
Yeah, he said that. He says, just get back in your car.
Okay, so you turned out of your way, and even after he told you to keep going, you continued to confront him. Is that right?
Well, I mean, I was mad. I wanted to know why he was driving the way he did,
Okay, but the question was, after you turned out of your way to turn onto Evergreen Street, and you got out of your car, Officer Levy was out of his car, he told you to keep going. Is that right?
He just said get back in the car.
All right, thank you. No further questions.